hyped about the game. I don't know how other people feel about this. Please let me know what you guys think. Maybe I'm going too overboard. I don't know. I'd love for the game to be in a state where I could get people excited about the game every day, whether it's playing strikes for 16 hours or just something to chase, some role, some sort of like replayable content is all we're asking for, because a lot of it just feels like one and done stuff right now. Like once you acquire this one item, it's over.
Hey YouTube, I'm Lucky, and in today's video we're going to be responding to a bit of criticism that Sweatcicle has posted on his channel, where he says Destiny 2 is not sustainable for content creators anymore. And just to get this right off the bat, I largely agree with him in his opinion here. The replayability of Destiny 2 has diminished drastically. And this is an issue that has pretty much always plagued Destiny and the Destiny player base in general, which is just the drought, where we go from, a content drop, a month later, everything's kind of been done and seen and over, and then there's just a drought period of time, which is an issue with the end game in general in Destiny 2. And his main focus is that he's saying that it's really not sustainable for content creators. It's very hard as a content creator to be like, all right, let's do this. Let's get excited for this. Let's chase this god roll. Because there's just so much less to chase after in this season than there was even in just the last season. I mean, this was meant to be the big drop, the big September drop. And obviously COVID, I'm not going to blame Bungie entirely. Obviously, it's been a rough year. And I don't think that any of this video was meant to focus on sending any hate to Bungie, and I'm definitely not sending any hate to Bungie. Destiny 2 is what it is for you, the community, and for the content creators. And we have to accept that and play it as much as we like and move on when we have to. Because I myself, as a content creator, and I know Sweatcicle is mentioned in this video, and I know others, we're finding it in this season that it's so hard to get really excited about the weapons that are in the season. Like I mentioned before, the Europa weapons by design don't have damage boosting perks. And so it's hard for those weapons to compete in a sandbox with damage boosting perks on the previous weapons that we got in multiple seasons beforehand. And so it's hard to get excited and want to chase after those Europa weapons. And then you have the Wrathborn hunts, and there's a couple weapons that are exciting there. But after you've gotten the god rolls of those weapons to drop, it's like, now what do I do? And I think that's where the entirety of the content creation community inside Destiny 2 is at right now. They're like, well, now what? And there are definitely still new things and things to grind for, like there's new builds coming out and people are trying new weapons and stuff. But overall, that carrot on the stick just really isn't there this season. And it's hard to say that because I love grinding this game. I'll even grind PvE a ton if I have to. I'm primarily a PvP player, but I'll grind PvE if there's something worth grinding. I mean, back in the day, we have strike-specific loot. Back in the D1 days, and even in D2, we had like a period of time where exotic catalysts only dropped from the strikes, and that got me in those strikes. And it's like now I do strikes only if I need a powerful drop or if a quest forces me to go do some strikes. I think overall what Destiny is missing is this element of elusive loot that is really hard to get, very low drop chance. And I'll use a D1 analogy of this to give you a point of reference in what I'm talking about. Back in D1, when you would go flawless in trials, you could go beyond flawless. And you could get a scarab emblem, which was an emblem that you could only acquire by doing matches after you got flawless on a ticket. And it was really tough to get. At the start, it was a very, very small drop chance. And it was such a silly thing, right? Just an emblem, right? It didn't really mean anything. And the drop chance was really rare, and it was really hard to go flawless as is. So to add an emblem beyond flawless was kind of crazy. But it gave you something to chase after in trials. It gave you that carrot on the stick, and it was just a silly, stupid emblem. And I can't help but feel like that's what Destiny needs. Destiny needs more extremely rare loot drops to drop from things, so that way that you can get something that's unique to you, something that almost no one has. And even if it's just a cosmetic, even if it's just an emblem or a shader, shit like that is cool, and that gives you a carrot on the stick, something to grind for no matter what, so that way you can't complain that there's nothing to do in the game because you still haven't gotten X, Y, and Z, whatever it may be. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree with this opinion? Do you find the season to be a little bit more dry? And overall, do keep the comments positive because, this is a crazy year. There's a pandemic, there's COVID, so we can't blame Bungie entirely for Beyond Light not reaching our expectations of what we wanted. And lastly, make sure to subscribe with notifications on if you want to stay up to date on all Destiny 2 Beyond Light news. And I'll see you in the next video. Later.